Hello everyone, my name is Frankie Bunn and my presentation is going to be over the Great Depression. How many people are familiar with the Great Depression? It was a very difficult time for people back in the 20s and 30s. And the reason I chose this topic is because my parents actually lived through the Depression. And it's of interest to me because I want to know exactly what all the Great Depression consists of, the causes, the effects, and the New Deal program that ended the Depression. Okay, I hope everyone will take this speech seriously. My information will let you know how and why the Depression happened. Okay. The first thing that happened was the stock market crash, which caused Black Thursday, and there was over 16 million people sold their stock, and it caused such a panic that it not only caused unemployment issues, consumer debt was increasing, people struggled to find work, and farmers struggled due to drought and falling food prices. Now we know what the stock market was the beginning of the Depression era. Okay, now it caused widespread crisis. Hunger, poverty, and unemployment. Soup lines and bread lines started. Loss of homes because people got in so debt they had to foreclose on their homes. Unemployment was still hard to find. Banks even closed. And during this time, people couldn't even buy food because it was a very shortage of it. So like even a piece of bread or a loaf of bread, they couldn't buy it. There was no money. Now that we look into President Hoover quoted that it would be short-term, and actually the Depression lasted 10 years, mostly under him. And it affected a tremendous amount of people. And then the Democratic victory, Theodore Roosevelt was elected, and this is where the New Deal started. It created tremendous amount of work projects. The WPA, the CCC, the WPA, and the AAA, and also traditional work for women. And this was the beginning of the rise of the economy. People were starting to get work again. People were starting to move back because of work. And the Depression ends when Roosevelt helped the economy. Also, it started World War II, which it was still carried over into World War II. Actually, the end of World War II is when the Depression ended. And this is why I chose that, because my parents lived through it. Also, in conclusion, it took one president, President Hoover, to cause hunger, poverty, and unemployment. Then it took one other president, which was Theodore Roosevelt, to get the people out of the Depression. He was able to help in that with more programs and things for people to work at. And my clincher is Would you want to live back in the Depression day? Could you honestly live back in that day? It's kind of word of thought. And I will leave that question there because during the Depression, it was a very, very difficult time for people. And people should feel fortunate today that they don't have to live through those times that was hunger, poverty, unemployment. Anyway, thank you for listening to my speech. Take care, everyone.